Hey everybody, welcome to Convertible Conversations today. We're in the middle of a little 5-part thing this week talking about our heart versus our mind. So let me start out by asking you, what do you think about? What's on your mind right now? What do you think about most of the time at this stage in your life? Most of the time, I've found out, we think about ourselves, our wants, our needs, our desires, our hurts. We think about my whatever. What do you want other people to think about? Really, what do you want other people to think about? I've found many times we want them to think about or be mindful of us and our feelings and our needs and what we want. What do you think other people want you to think about? Many times they want us to think about them and their wants and their needs. That's the way we are. What do you think advertisers want you to think about? My first thought, first thing that came to my mind when I thought about that was, well, they want us to think about their products. But actually, going deeper than that, I think they want us to think that we are not complete without their product. Ads are geared to make us think that we're missing out on something important. We're not complete. We're not there yet. We are not, but we can be if we buy their product. How's that worked out for you? Not so well for me. What do you think politicians want you to think? They also want you to think you're not complete. You're missing something. You're in harm's way. Things are not good for you. But if you vote for them and support them, they will do something then to make you complete, to make you better. Think about the last 2 presidential elections. 2 times ago, President Obama won, and then President Trump. Now, most of you wanted one or the other of them to win in those elections. Maybe there's some of us that didn't want either one to, but most of us did. Those of us who wanted them to win, when they won, we were elated. And we thought, well, now life's going to be good. How long did that feeling last? All right, what does evil want us to think? Evil wants you and me to think that you are not. Evil speaks to you most of the time from the first person singular, emulating our own voice. So what we hear is, I am not. I'm not good enough. I'm not complete. I'm not loved. I'm not rich enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not respected enough. I'm not given enough credit. I'm not right with God. That's what evil says to us, emulating our own voice. Then evil continues, but you can be if you do, work, strive, try, cheat if necessary. Evil wants you to think that you're not liked, you're not loved by that other person, so you deserve to be mean to them. It's okay to be mean to them, to retaliate, not forgive, treat them poorly. Evil wants you to think that God is a list-keeping, punitive deity that withholds love, that has conditions, and then evil wants you to think that because God is like that, it's okay for you to treat people like that. You're just being like God. That's actually been the basis for most of the world's history of wars. Now, what do you think God thinks about most of the time? What do you think? What does God think about most of the time? Us. God thinks about you all the time, and his thoughts are good. Isn't that a relief? Psalm 139, David, a man who had a heart after God, said, "O Lord, you've searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You understand my thoughts from afar. You scrutinize my path and my lying down. You are intimately acquainted with all of my ways. Lord, before there's even a word on my tongue, you know it all. You've enclosed me behind and before and laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me to even comprehend. It's too high. I can't understand it. Then David says, Lord, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you're there. If I make my bed in the place of the dead, you're there. If I take the wings of the dawn, if I dwell in the remotest parts of the sea, even there your hand will lead me, and your right hand will lay hold of me. If I say, surely the darkness is going to overwhelm me, and the light around me will be night, even the darkness is not dark to you, and the night is as bright as day. Darkness and light are alike to you. He goes on to say, Lord, you formed my inward parts. You wove me in my mother's womb. I'll give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret and skillfully wrought in the depths of the earth. Your eyes have seen my unformed substance, and in your book were written all the days that were ordained for me, when as yet there was not even one of them. How precious are your thoughts to me. How vast is the sum of them. Listen to that now. How precious are your thoughts of me. How vast is the sum of them. If I could count them, they would outnumber the sand. He says, God thinks more thoughts about us, you and me, than there are pebbles of sand on all the beaches in the world. He says, Lord, when I'm awake, I'm still with you. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there's any hurtful way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Friends, God thinks about you all the time, and God's thoughts about you are all good. I encourage you to ponder that, to think about that, to meditate that between now and tomorrow when we get together. God thinks about you all the time, and all of God's thoughts about you are good. Think about that. We'll come back tomorrow and talk some more. Thanks for being with me.